Our first guest I met in a writers group, which I got kicked out of shortly after. He's an investigative journalist and an author. Originally from North Carolina, he's been living over the rainbow here in Buenos Aires since 2023. Let's welcome Hank Scott.
Woo! Thank you. Happy to be here.
Welcome.
Happy to join the Gringos of Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Some people say Gringos are from Mexico, but, what does it mean to be a gringo?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what it means to be a gringo. I find a challenge once in a while. People, when I walk up at a barista, they ask me in English what my name is, which stuns me. But sometimes I'm able to trick them and I say, Enrique, and they smile.
Enrique.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
No, some people call us Shankies. Well, Shanky.
I've heard that.
You ever been called the Shanky?
No, but I've been called Hank the Skank, which
Hank
is, I
the
guess,
Skank.
somewhat similar. Yeah.
All right. So you've been here since 2023. What brought you? What brought you to Buenos Aires?
What brought me to Buenos Aires was, well, first of all, I just followed this city and its history and this country and its history for decades, and spent a month here many, many years ago. Fell in love with it.
What part of its history stands out most?
Well, some of the sad parts, the Dirty War.
The Dirty War.
Certainly stands out. But also what's really had an impact on me is the culture here, the people, but the culture. I'm a Francophile. I love Paris. This is the Paris of South America. It is different in one significant way from Paris. People are much nicer here. So makes a big difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And whereabouts are you living?
I live in Villa Crespo. I lived for a while in Almagro, which I really liked. I like Villa Crespo. It is it's a really cool, kind of hip, up-and-coming neighborhood. It's next to Chacarita, which the New York Times published a story not long ago saying it was the up-and-coming hipster neighborhood. But I think Villa Crespo is right behind it. It's pretty cool.
It's probably like turning into Palermo. Palermo seems to be growing, expanding.
Well, I like it because it's not as touristic.
That whole concept of the arts and the fashion and the bars and the nightlife.
It is. And when I lived in New York City for 22 years, I moved there. I lived in the East Village. And that was the hip old days of the East Village. It was an anarchic neighborhood where there were abandoned buildings and artists like Jean-Michel Basquiat and Keith Haring. And it was a cool creative scene. That wasn't dominated by rich tourists. And
you worked for the New York Times?
I worked for the New York Times for 6 or 7 years, right.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Exactly as an investigative journalist?
No, I worked at the business side of the New York Times. I was vice president for new media and new product development. So I created new products, Russian language edition published in Moscow, took the New York Times online for the first time, creative things like that.
So products are basically ideas.
Yeah. I came up with ideas for new media products that the New York Times could use to make money. It was a lot of fun.
Did you get to travel? Did you get to travel around?
I got to travel. I had to travel. I had to go to Moscow, St. Petersburg, Shanghai, Hong Kong.
Is Moscow in any way similar to BA?
No. It does have a good subway system, I'll say that for it. But other than that, no. Basically, everybody I knew in Moscow was drunk on vodka.
Yeah.
So, not my kind of place.
All right. And what keeps you busy here in Buenos Aires as an expat?
Well, I'm a writer. I've been a writer everywhere, so I could write anywhere. But I like being here because I find great places to go sit and write. I like to get out of my apartment. Also, I do some virtual work. I edit books and stuff for other people. And I've been doing some work helping the Buenos Aires Herald, the English language publication here.
I used to read the Herald every day.
Yeah.
Before getting on the subway. That's how I got my first English teaching job.
Oh, okay.
In the Buenos Aires Herald.
Yeah, it's a great publication. It's about 140-some years old. It went out of business, then revived itself as a digital-only publication right now.
Yeah.
But I've been a journalist, but also worked on the business side. So what I'm trying to help them with is find ways to generate revenue. So.
All right. Cool. All right. That's very interesting. You had a long, interesting ride.
Yeah, well, I've been around. They have people they call millennials. You've heard of those, I'm
millennials.
sure. I describe myself as an experiential. Been there, done that.
What's it like? I'm curious. What's it like growing up in North Carolina?
Well, I wasn't in North Carolina. Well, I was, actually. I left North Carolina at the age of 39. I grew up in Fayetteville, next to Fort Bragg, the largest Army base in the world, known as Vietnam.
Vietnam?
Yes, the Vietnam soldiers were based there. And I worked at the Raleigh Times newspaper, my first newspaper job, and then at the Charlotte Observer. And at the Charlotte Observer, I learned what any real journalist knows. My favorite editor, Stuart Dim, once told me, if your mother says she loves you, check it out. I'm a skeptic. I've been one since the age of 12, and that's why I love journalism, because what most people tell you ain't true.
Yeah. All right. What's one thing that you like most about Buenos Aires, being an expat living here?
Oh gosh, there's so much. I love the people, just the community. I have great interactions with people. People are nice. They're friendly. When I came here for 3 weeks before making the permanent move, I had an interesting encounter. I was lost one day. I saw a police officer. I walked up and said, "Hola, señor. Soy un turista. No hablo español. I'm lost." And I pointed on my phone to the station I was looking for. He smiled and he helped me. And I said, "Gracias." He says, "De nada." And I walk away. And I'm a few hundred feet away, and I turn back to smile again, and I realized I've interrupted him. He's arresting someone and handcuffing him. In New York City, I would have been put in jail. That's Buenos Aires.
You got lucky that they didn't ask you to be a witness.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
You know, sometimes they need you as a witness, and you know.
You know, and the barista at Megatlon Almagro, lovely little old lady, Andrea knows me and hugs me when she sees me, even if it's on the sidewalk. It's just that kind of an atmosphere that I like.
All right.
Have you been to other places?
Other places?
Outside Buenos Aires?
I've been to Tigres, the only other place. So far I've lived here, this is my 25th month, and eventually, probably in the spring, I'm going to try and explore a little bit more. I'd love to go to Iguazu, places like that. I'm curious about. Did
you speak to someone and say, "Hey, why don't you check out Buenos Aires? Come here." Did you have a friend here? Did you have someone that you just I don't know, skydive?
No, I just sort of figured it out. I was a weird kid. I grew up in North Carolina, and very conservative place. I was the weirdo. I've always been the weirdo. And
we're all weird.
Well, I grew up in a family and in a community where nobody probably knew Argentina existed. Yeah. I followed politics around the world. I'm a big fan of Kemal Ataturk in Istanbul, and I learned about Buenos Aires, and just as a kid started following it, finding books at the library, reading about it. And that's how I got.
How do you feel about soccer?
I don't know much about soccer. I want to learn more. I've been watching soccer more and more, and I'm captivated by it. When I go to the gym, all the TV monitors have soccer games going, and initially I kept thinking, so what's the big deal about this? And now I'm kind of captivated. I'm finding it going, wow.
Because Argentina is popular, famous for certain things. One of them is soccer.
Oh, of course, yeah.
One of them is soccer. Yeah. And anything else that you would think that Argentina is famous for? From an American's point of view?
Well, the odd thing is, from an American point of view, not so much, because most people in the United States aren't that aware of what's going on here. Yeah. If people are somewhat sophisticated, Argentina is very famous for more bookstores per capita than any city in the world, the art scene, the creativity, insane number of theaters. There's a lot of that sort of stuff.
It's an amazing nightlife, a lot of culture. There's never a dull moment. There's always something to do in Buenos Aires.
Absolutely.
I heard other cities are like that too. Rosario, they say, is a really nice city. Mendoza, Córdoba.
I'm curious. Yeah, I had a roommate in New York City from Tucumán, Gustavo Valladares, and I learned a lot about Argentina from Gustavo. Through him, I met some friends here who, Sandra Zabludovic, wonderful woman who's helped me find my way around here. So I still want to explore more.
All right. You said you met Clinton once.
Yes,
you
I
sent
met
me a picture of that.
I met Bill. I sent you a picture, sort of eccentric. In my career, I've met a lot of people, none of whom probably remember me. But when I left the New York Times in 1996, I started a consulting practice and was hired to help turn around financially troubled media companies. One was Out Magazine, a gay lifestyle magazine. And as part of that, I had to go to Bill Clinton's annual Christmas party. Bizarre. I was one of hundreds of people standing in line. They shoved me forward. Somebody whispered my name in his ear. He said hello, and my picture was taken, and then they shoved me out of the way. So I can't say I know Bill Clinton.
Oh.
But
I met Menem once.
You met? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta you gotta touch wood or touch your left nut. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah. No, I met others. Robert Sackville, the 7th Baron Sackville, nice guy who owns a house of 365 rooms in Europe, in England. He's invited me to visit. I realized with 365 rooms, I could probably spend a year there, moving from place to place.
Do you find it cheap to live here, or is it expensive? Has prices changed? How do you see
prices
it?
have gone up? Yeah, but compared to New York, it is much less expensive. Much less expensive.